is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Communities up and down the California coast are under mandatory evacuation orders. Storms inundating the state. Correspondent Carter Evans begins our coverage.
In Los Angeles County, torrential downpours opened up a sinkhole overnight. It swallowed 2 occupied cars. Firefighters had to use ladders to rescue the driver and a teenager from the 15-foot pit.
There is more stormy weather in the forecast. Meteorologist Craig Allen with our affiliate WCBS.
Some of this rain continues to be moderate to heavy, and it's not just rain now. There are severe storms that are embedded within the rain, so there's the possibility of lightning, thunder, and torrential downpours included with the general moderate to heavy across most of the state.
These 14 deaths are blamed on the weather since the new year. CBS News first to report the Justice Department is reviewing about 10 documents marked classified discovered at an office President Biden used before he took office. CBS's Adriana Diaz.
3 sources confirmed this story to our CBS News team. Now, a preliminary inquiry by the Justice Department is nearing its conclusion, but as soon as we broke this news, it set off a political firestorm with Republicans who now control the House of Representatives, and they are asking for answers.
Police in Albuquerque say they've made an arrest in shooting attacks on the homes and offices of 6 elected officials since Chief Harold Medina.
There is a suspect in custody. We do have one of the firearms involved in one of the incidents in our possession.
No word on who the suspect is. No one was hurt in the shootings. Numbers just in from European climate researchers. So the last 8 years were the hottest on record, and Europe experienced its hottest summer ever. Overall, they find the world is now 2.1 degrees Fahrenheit hotter than it was in the second half of the 19th century. Carbon emissions ticking up again. Correspondent Vicki Barker reports.
America's greenhouse gas emissions are almost back to pre-pandemic levels, endangering President Biden's climate goal. Increase came not from cars and factories, but from homes and other buildings, which burn fossil fuels like natural gas in furnaces, hot water heaters, and other appliances.
The prize rises
across America with mega jackpots. It's Mega Millions.
Tonight's stake is up to $1.1 billion, the 3rd largest Mega Millions ever, and the 5th largest lottery prize in U.S. history. This man in Altadena, California, is trying his luck.
My wife told me to come back with the winning numbers. So what can I do?
Lump sum payout would be $568 million and change. This is CBS News.
Nobody should have to pay for one-size-fits-all insurance company. Well, customizes your car and home insurance, so you only pay for what you need. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Bubble Tea Brew House. You are going to get a family 4-pack of bubble teas from the Bubble Tea Brew House in Saginaw for only $12. It's usually $24, but you are getting it half off. The Bubble Tea Brew House is located at 4370 Bay Road in Saginaw, and they have hundreds of flavor combinations. Literally, you pick it, you get it. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the Law Firm. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. Divorce can be complicated, especially if children are involved. If you're a father and want to protect your role in your children's lives, remember Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men with matters like these for 30 years, and we'd love to help you.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com.
If you want to save money and start the year, you covered.
I need everything to restock my business. File folders, break room supplies, even business cards.
Staples has you covered with big savings on everything you need for your home or office. And now at Staples, Rewards members get $30 back via Staples store bonus when they spend $100. That's $30 to use toward everything from ink to tech. Save big right now at Staples, the working and learning store. Rewards members only. Store bonus redeemable in-store only. Offer ends 1/21.
From the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW.
Friday skies at 9:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Percha. A woman from Ithaca has died after a head-on collision in Gratiot County on Sunday. Law enforcement say 60-year-old Bonnie Barrett was a passenger in a vehicle driven by her husband, 66-year-old Scott Barrett, heading south on US 127 around 3:15 p.m. when a northbound vehicle driven by a 16-year-old girl from Shepherd crossed the median and crashed into them head-on. The Barretts were transported to a nearby hospital where police say Bonnie died from her injuries. The 16-year-old was also taken to a hospital. Investigators don't believe that all three people were wearing their seatbelts. Michigan State Police are joining efforts to increase the number of women in law enforcement as part of the agency's recognition of National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. The state police have announced it has joined the 30 by 30 initiative, which aims to increase the representation of women in police recruit classes to 30% by 2030. According to a study by the National Institute of Justice in 2019, less than 13% of sworn officers are women, with even fewer women in leadership positions. Organizers of the 30 by 30 initiative say women officers use less, receive fewer complaints and lawsuits, and are perceived as being more honest and compassionate. As part of the state police's efforts, the agency says it's attended and hosted recruitment events where attendees can get firsthand accounts of what it means to be a female in policing. For more information or to apply and join the state police, visit michigan.gov/MSPjobs. WSGW News Time 9:07.
It's a new year and time for a new look. It's time for you to trade in those old glasses and get that new, fresh, stylish look for the new year. And don't forget, it's also important to keep yourself healthy this year. Even if you have always had... It's always a good idea to have regular eye exams. Schedule your appointment today and let them take care of your eyes and help you find that amazing new look for the new year. They have early morning and evening appointments to fit your schedule.
To make an appointment with Dr. Cox, Dr. Tesmerick, or Dr. Engel at their Saginaw and Hemlock locations, call 792-8686. Bay City's best bridge is open to traffic. Brought to you by Bay City Bridge Partners and local union workers. Come see the new Liberty Bridge for yourself. Tolling is free through March. Drive the most direct route between home, work, school, and many of Bay City's hotspots. Experience the smooth new deck surface free of potholes. Mechanics, electronics, and technology. Get your transponder and learn more at BayCityBridgePartners.com.
WSGW News Time 9:08. The weather forecast is next. A scheduled court appearance Monday for a Farmington Hills doctor accused of molesting youth hockey players has been delayed. In the past 2 months, 66-year-old Zavi Lavron has been charged with 19 counts of criminal sexual conduct for allegedly abusing patients at his home office. Lavron has provided medical services to youth and school hockey organizations, including those in Farmington, Redford, and 20 years. He remains in custody in the Oakland County Jail on a more than $2 million bond. The American Academy of Pediatrics has issued new guidelines on the treatment of childhood obesity. Out goes the old guidance of so-called watchful waiting. The new guidance calls for early and aggressive treatment of childhood obesity. Children's Hospital of Michigan pediatrician Dr. Yvonne Friday says the pandemic compounded an already wide-reaching problem.
Having kids locked up in buildings was not helping things. That activity was important, that them staring, because we already knew before the pandemic, staring at screens all day was not a good way to get help. But that it happening even more during the pandemic when they were not able to go to school, that was a factor. We had kids that weren't going to see their doctors. They're now coming back in droves.
New guidance suggests medications for kids as young as 12 and surgery for those as young as 13. Congresswoman Debbie Dingell is congratulating the University of Michigan after being selected for a NASA mission. A professor from the College of Engineering will lead an investigation into the Geospace Dynamics Constellation mission. The goal: magnetic energy entering the upper atmosphere to forecast weather effects on Earth and in space. Dingell applauds the university for remaining at the forefront of cutting-edge research and scientific advancements. WSGW News Time 9:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Today, cloudy skies with a chance of snow and a chance of rain in the afternoon, highs in the upper 30s. Tonight, cloudy skies with steady temperatures in the lower 30s. Into the day on Wednesday, cloudy skies with highs in the mid 40s. Then Wednesday night, cloudy skies and steady temperatures in the upper 30s for the low. Cloudy skies with a chance of rain, highs around 40 degrees. And Thursday night, a chance of rain early, then cloudy skies and a chance of snow later in the night, lows in the upper 20s. Friday, cloudy skies and steady temperatures in the lower 30s. I'm Patrick McMillan with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Right now, it's 32.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
And indeed, Westside Decorating Center is our sponsor at 5789 State Street. See their newly expanded showroom with everything you need for home decorating. Visit Mike and the staff at Westside Decorating Center. We'll have open phones later on, right through the 11 o'clock period. At 11, we'll talk to Robin from Auburn about the Auburn Outreach. But we're going to start out this morning welcoming back to the program the city manager of Frankenmuth, and we say good morning to Bridget Smith. Morning, Bridget. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
Good. And how was, when we look back at 2022, what kind of a year was it for Frankenmuth?
I think it was really good. There was a lot of anxiety, I think, going past COVID and seeing how visitors and residents and businesses were going to respond and react, but it has been really, really good.
It was a recovery year, wasn't it?
It was, and in very big ways.
Did you see, and I know this has always been an important part of tourism in Frankenmuth, did you see out-of-area bus tourism return?
We did, and actually, we think there's even more possibility for that. The American Bus Association is actually having their big convention in Detroit in February.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it has been like decades since Detroit has had the opportunity to do that and to really show off.
Yeah.
So the Frankenmuth Convention and Visitors Bureau is very excited about that.
That's become a big show, too. I remember when I was in the tour business, I used to go to the ABA and the NTA. And the ABA was growing and growing and growing. And it's become pretty much the leader in that industry, hasn't it?
Yeah. So Frankenmuth plans on capitalizing on that market. They'll be there with a booth with plans to bring some of those tour operators up to Frankenmuth before the show. So it's exciting.
Yeah, that sounds good. So what kind of year is 2023 going to be?
Well, I'm an optimist, so I always think it's going to be better than it was before.
Some things are coming back too. I know, of course, Snowfest is about to happen in a couple of weeks, but the hot food competition that used to be attached to it is now going to happen February 13th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And that's always been a great event. It's always one of my favorites. And I talked to John Zender the other day and told him, sorry, John, I won't be around for it. We'll be in Florida, sorry. But it is a great event. And the Snowfest kind of kicks off the tourism season in Frankenmuth, doesn't it?
It does. Well, candidly, we only have maybe like 3 weeks off from New Year's to Snowfest. Yep. But then after that 3-week lull, the city's right back at it.
Yeah, there's no lulls. And it seems like there's something new every year.
Yeah. And the city is very proud of the relationship we have with Zender Snowfest. We met a couple of weeks ago to finalize all the plans. It's important, I think, to Snowfest and to the city that you don't see the behind the scenes safety planning and preparation that that goes on, and you don't feel it while you're there, but it takes a lot of coordination.
Bridget, of all the events held throughout the year in Frankenmuth, which one, if you know, draws the biggest crowd? My first instinct is the Auto Fest, but I'm not sure if that's right or not. But from being there, I know what the crowds are like. That's got to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest.
Yeah, I would say Auto Fest, and then Snowfest, and then Balloons Over Bavarian and Dog Bowl. Ah,
yes. I forgot about the Dog Bowl, because there you count by feet and you have a lot. So let's talk, get down to some of the nitty gritty of Frankenmuth. For example, the financial health of the city. How's the city doing?
We're doing quite well. We have been very successful during COVID in a lot of unexpected ways. So we've had growth in areas that you don't associate with tourism. So Star of the West, which is a big agribusiness, has expanded during COVID and have had record-setting years. So that's been very helpful. Michigan Brands has also expanded. So in unexpected ways, we saw some growth and development when we weren't anticipating it. And then we also have a new hotel, which is just starting construction on the south end of town. That came in during COVID as well. It'll be a home to Hilton property. And so that consistent base has helped. And the city also has, we levy 9.25 mils, but we have the ability to levy up to 18. So we feel very comfortable when we look at long-term needs.
And when I drive into Frankenmuth, particularly coming in on Junction, to me, and not living there, it's almost a tale of two cities. By that I mean, if I turn right on Main, I'm in Frankenmuth proper, the tourist area. If I go left on Main, I'm where I believe most Frankenmuthers go to do whatever they need to do. That's where the residential services are located. South is where the tourists are located. Do I misread that, or is it true?
Yes and no. So our zoning is actually set up exactly the way that you describe it. So everything pretty much south of Genesee is tourism focused. We even call it commercial tourist zoning. And then everything to the north is mostly more focused on local, and we actually call it commercial local. So those are the zoning districts where you typically are going to find grocery stores and vehicle sales and that sort of thing.
All kinds of businesses.
Yes. Yeah. However, now this is
yes, I wanted to know the other side of it. Go ahead.
So the other side is that, especially post-COVID, there has been renewed interest, I think, on behalf of the businesses, the Chamber of Commerce, and our residents, finding new ways to connect our locals to those downtown businesses. So there's more clothing retail for women, especially downtown, in our traditional downtown more, that draws more local people. The Chamber's investment in Friday night fun nights, which of course is open to everyone, but is designed to draw in locals. I think everyone can appreciate that when tourism is slow, it's the residents who can help contribute. And that was really reinforced during COVID.
So what's it like living in the city of Frankenmuth? And I asked that specifically for those of us who go there either to visit, just to take in the activities, or go there to shop maybe even. We know when to not go, because traffic down the South End can be unbelievable, New York City style. What's it like to live in Frankenmuth? You got to know all the back streets.
You do. You also know when it makes more sense to walk than drive. And so when locals go to AutoFest or Dog Bowl or the fireworks, they typically are walking from their neighborhoods or from a friend's house. So I moved to Frankenmuth when I was in high school, and I distinctly remember appreciating how very different it is. It really is. We joke about this, but it really is a different community. It's a little bit like Wobegon, where all the women are handsome, all the men are strong, and all the children are above average. Like, everybody is really focused on rowing the boat in the same direction. And so, does everyone appreciate the additional traffic? No. But everyone understands what it brings to the town. And that our visitors are what allows us to have things that other towns of 5,000 don't.
I spent a little bit of time in a town like that in Oregon on the coast, Lincoln City. It's a town of 5,000 or 6,000, 50,000 people every day. A town of 5,000 with a police force of 120 because they needed it, and Frankenmuth is, without tourism, wouldn't be the same. It'd be a nice little agricultural community, but that'd be it. Tourism has built that town, hasn't it?
It has. And I think tourism has allowed the city to have as strong local ownership as it does, which I really think is what sets Frankenmuth apart from a lot of other communities.
And just when you think you've seen it all there, tragically last year, a couple of leaders in Frankenmuth passed away. But the dreams, for example, Judy Zenda Keller's dream of a water park is going to be her legacy, because they're going to build it, and it'll be the biggest one in the state. They don't do anything small, do they?
No.
Nothing.
No, and they don't. I would say when a business leader is ready in Frankenmuth to share an idea, it's well beyond the idea stage. They've vetted it. They know what the feasibility is, and now they're ready to share it.
All right. Can you hang on?
Sure.
One more segment. I got to take a break. We're talking to Bridget Smith, and she is the city manager for the city of Frankenmuth. More ahead.
Sipping hot cocoa under a warm, fuzzy blanket by the fireside sounds nice and all, but do you know what sounds even better? Doing all this while digging your toes into ultra-soft carpets from Shaw. This is Sonia with Westside Decorating. We offer a variety of contrast to the super durable and stain-resistant Pet Protect carpet. We still offer insulating window coverings to combat drafty windows and beautiful designs. Visit our newly renovated showroom, Westside Decorating, 5789 State Street in Saginaw Township, where there's always something new.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Democrats say that high inflation would go away after the Fed's rate hikes, but month after month, the numbers prove nothing has changed. In fact, food and housing prices are still going higher. Meanwhile, Biden is still finding ways to print more dollars. And I urge you to take action to protect your savings from inflation. How? By diversifying your current retirement funds into a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To see how it works, simply text the word hedge to 989898, and Birch Gold will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. This 20-page guide will answer all your questions about using gold in your retirement account. This is the best way to stop your purchasing power from being stolen by Democrats like Joe Biden. So text HEDGE to the number 989898. That's HEDGE to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold. There's no obligation or purchase required.
I'm Susan Lee, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Coinbase Global, the crypto exchange, says it lost as much as $500 million last year, and it's around 950 employees. Microsoft is reported to be in talks to invest into artificial intelligence company OpenAI. Reuters says Microsoft is looking into a $10 billion investment. OpenAI was founded by Tesla CEO Elon Musk and investor Sam Altman. Bed Bath & Beyond reported a wider loss in its holiday quarter. The home furnishings company is looking into various options for the business, including a possible bankruptcy filing. Walt Disney CEO Bob Iger has ordered hybrid employees to return to work in person from Monday through Thursday. The new policy starts March 1st. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
It's Jesse Kelly here. I can't afford to lose 30% of my 401k or IRA again, and I'm assuming you can't either. Call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick your precious metals. That's it. You now own precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today to learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan. 833-404-GOLD. 833-404-GOLD.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured, so we do better.
It's like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly, different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
The WSGW Morning Team.
Tell me that you weren't celebrating some measure of success for a Detroit Lions team that started 1-6 and finished 9-8 and took down the Packers at Lambeau Field and knocked them out of the playoffs.
Yes, you've got to give the Lions, you have to give head coach Dan Campbell, you have to give everybody credit, but they're still going to get 2 of the top 20 picks of the draft. That's not bad. Another thing you have to think about is, will there be maybe a free agent that will say, I may want to go to Detroit.
Want to play for the Lions, want to play for Dan Campbell.
Do you think the fan base is going to be like, heading into training camp next year, this is going to be big? We have had to deal with a lot as Detroit sports fans the last
at least.
These Lions, though, I think they captured the imaginations of a lot of fans around here. The Lions did their job, and the future only looks brighter.
If this had to be the last Lions conversation on Monday, let it be this one.
1, 2, 3. Your morning team, Charlie, Denise, and Pat, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
On the next Markley, Van Camp, and Robin show, media finally realizes the Russians had nothing to do with the 2016 election. Just not figuring that out, huh?
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins, weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show on WSGW. We're talking to Bridget Smith, the city manager in the city of Frankenmuth. Bridget, I think I asked you this before, but did Frankenmuth get ARPA dollars?
We did, about $480,000.
A very small amount compared to what everybody else was getting.
Yeah, which is difficult to say to the general public that, it's almost $500,000, but it's really not that much money.
Not that much money. What did you use it for, or have you decided?
So we've used $100,000 to make some repairs to the Harvey Kern Pavilion. We had some roof leak problems. The remainder is still being figured out. We potentially have identified some dollars to extend the Riverwalk from Heritage Park to River Place to kind of mirror what's on the other side. And we have some potential congressional funding coming for that.
Part of the ARPA funds in the final rules, so to speak, allowed you to replace lost funds that the city would normally have. Did Frankenmuth suffer much of that, though? You didn't have many lost funds, did you?
No, but under the rules, we meet that threshold. But the city council has still developed some guidance. We want it to be a one-off project, so we don't want to supplant funding and use it someplace else. And we want to be mindful that if we're creating something new, that we're aware of what those ongoing costs are going to be.
Out of curiosity, when a city does something like that, like the Riverwalk expansion you're talking about, there are a lot of major stakeholders in Frankenmuth. Are they involved in the process?
Well, in this case, most definitely, because it will run across property that's not owned by the city and owned instead by the Bavarian and Lodge. So they most definitely are involved. But even when we did the levee project, there was a lot of involvement from the downtown business community, the Parks and Recreation Commission, even the Chamber of Commerce. And then before construction, we actually had meetings that took people on tours of what it was going to look like, how much higher the wall was going to be, that sort of thing. We find it's better to share that information up front so everyone's prepared instead of surprise them.
So as you look at 2023, in terms of the city structure, what does Frankenmuth need in your view?
I would say, like probably every other community in Michigan, we struggle with road funding. There's two pots of funding that come into cities. One is earmarked more for major streets, and then the other is for local streets. The majority of our streets in Frankenmuth are local, subdivision streets, and those are the streets that need the most maintenance. And streets are incredibly expensive.
You're not alone there.
No.
The other thing that communities are struggling with is labor force. How's Frankenmuth doing in that area?
We're faring much better now than we were a year ago. But it's still, it's difficult because we supplement our full-time workforce with a lot of part-time labor. And that's really hard because you're competing. You're trying to attract people in college, let's say, to work in Parks and Rec or DPW cleaning bathrooms, dealing with the public when they could work, someplace else or in a warehouse without some of that added pressure that the public gives you for the same wage.
And I mentioned the place I lived in Oregon earlier that had the large police force. You depend on reserves in your police department, don't you? Because you need that extra manpower, particularly during major events.
Correct. We couldn't do what we do without the help of our reserves. When you see officers on the street directing traffic, for every one certified officer, there's probably 3 or 4 reserves out there assisting.
Yeah, and it's necessary. Absolutely. Necessary, particularly with the traffic. Well, listen, Bridget, it's always great to talk to you. Frankenmuth is one of those gems that sits here in Saginaw County, and what happens in Frankenmuth and what's good for Frankenmuth is good for Saginaw and everybody else around the area. So thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
And have a happy new year and all that.
Thanks.
Thanks.
You too.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bridget Smith, she is the city manager of the city of Frankenmuth. We thank her for joining us this morning. We're going to take a break. When we come back, it'll be open phones for the remainder of the program right up through 11 o'clock. So give us a call if you got something on your mind.
Have you been considering a virtual education for your child? Bangor Township Schools offers an alternative learning environment for your child. Since 2015, the school has provided hundreds of students, K through 12th grade in the Saginaw Bay area, with a high-quality and accredited public education. The School of Choice window is open through January 20th. For more information on enrolling your child, go to bangorschools.org. Bangor Township Virtual Schools, the virtual education experts.
Fast Eddie's Car Wash and Oil Change Center should be your one-stop shop for all your vehicle's needs. We provide outstanding service when it comes to keeping your vehicle clean and running at its best. We're now offering the latest in car wash engineering with its state-of-the-art technology. Twice the foam, the results. You won't be disappointed with the show. And to make it easy and affordable for you, we offer the Ultimate Car Wash membership starting as low as $22.95 a month. With 17 locations throughout Michigan, there's one near you. And while you're there, stop in and get a full-service oil change and 21-point inspection. You can't beat that value, convenience, and quality that Fast Eddie's offers. So whether you're treating yourself or your vehicle to a friend or loved one, flowers? Overrated. Dinner? Short-lived. Vacation? A little pricey. Give the gift you'll be reminded of daily every time you step in that vehicle. Fast Eddie's Ultimate Car Wash membership. Believe me, it would be appreciated. Fast Eddie's, your one-stop shop for all your vehicle's needs.
Kick off 2023 with $100,000. It's winning weekends at Saginaw Eagles Landing. The excitement starts on New Year's Eve and goes on every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday through January. Each lucky winner will spin for up to $750 in premium play or all the way up to $100,000 in cash. Winning Saginaw Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel. Real fun, real friendly. Visit saginaw-eagleslanding.com for complete rules and details.
At Wildfire Credit Union, our team will tell you that everything we do is for our members because it's about you always.
Kyle came in on Monday upset because his truck needed more repairs. I completely understand because that's his livelihood. He was ready for something new. So I took him in my office right away and I was able to approve him for an auto loan. He was very happy to be able to leave with that check in his hand to go pick up his vehicle. He even came back a few hours later just to thank me and show me his new truck. I love being able to turn around.
Knowing members by name, going the extra mile to help them save money, understanding when they really need help. That's Wildfire Credit Union. It's what we do every day. Find out for yourself. Call 800-227-2328. Click on wildfirecu.org or come by any Wildfire location to experience banking the way it's supposed to be, where it's about you always. Wildfire Credit Union. Distinctively better. Member NCUA Equal Housing Lender.
Way behind on his taxes.
I owe a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000 and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
On Saturday, February 11th, the Disability Network of Mid-Michigan presents It's a Roaring 20s Gala to benefit independent living programs for people with disabilities. Grab your silk top hat, your best flapper dress, and prepare to foxtrot the night away with dance music by Stone Street Revival. Find Lady Luck at the casino. Hit the speakeasy for Giggle Waters. Feathers and Fedora, Saturday, February 11th at the Doubletree in Bay City. For information and tickets, click on the Feathers and Fedoras box you'll find online at WSGW.com.
This is the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios of WSGW.
All right, we are back with you on the Art Lewis Show. Open phones at 989-752-6111. And I see that Hound Dog is waiting for us this morning. So let's say good morning to Hound Dog up in Oklahoma County. Hound Dog, good morning.
Good morning, sir. I was listening about the Frankenmuth, and she said it was a little bit like Lake Wobegon, but she got that quote wrong. The quote is, all the women are strong, all the men are good looking, and all the children are above average.
Yeah, she said the women were handsome or something.
Handsome.
Oh, well.
No, that's a thing. That's a thing.
Yep.
She was a handsome woman at 25.
That's
but
right.
That's not my. But I will tell you, because you talk about dogs. I told you I got a Basset Beagle who's over 9 years old now.
Yep.
For Christmas, and I'll put it politely on the radio because I didn't want a Christmas present. But he's still here.
Good.
and I was going to name him Josh Darn It.
Josh?
No, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I do.
And the people wouldn't let me name him that,
Well, how can they stop you? You can name him whatever you want.
I named him Keeler after Garrison Keeler.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Prairie Home Companion.
Well, he'll have a good life with you.
That was a great radio show. That guy did that, I believe, for 42 years. And there is a movie called.
Yep.
There is a movie called Prairie Home Companion.
Yes, there is. He was around a long time. Great entertainer in radio, no doubt about it. Storyteller beyond belief.
Yeah. Storyteller and English major.
You got it. All right, Hound Dog. Yeah. Well, listen, you take care of that Hound Dog. Now you got one.
Well, yeah, he still had his little private parts. The neighbor's got a blue tick, so we'd have a triple hellhound if they could do something.
All right, my friend. Well, you take care.
You too. Okay,
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye now. Hound Dog has a Hound Dog. There you go. The ultimate. I just want to touch base on this because they have made us proud after years and years and years of brown bagging it over our heads with the Detroit Lions. It's time we wear brown bags with big smiley faces on them because the Detroit Lions did us proud this year. Yeah, they didn't make the playoff, but they did end up with a winning record, 9-8. And, if it were not for Seattle in the last-minute heroics winning their game against the Rams, the Lions could have found themselves in the playoffs this year. But they have done something else. And this is almost more important for next year than winning this year. They have won a position on the national stage. Sunday night's game, according to the network, 24 million people, the most watched Sunday night game against the Packers. Now, who cares if you watched because you were a Lions fan or because you were a Packers fan? Either way, the Lions came out smelling like a rose. They went out, they played their hearts out. And I'll tell you what, I have changed my opinion from when he was hired. I give Dan Campbell all the credit in the world. When he was first hired and he did his early press conferences and he was this gruff, football player with, talking the way he talks, I said to myself, I don't know about this. I really wonder if this is the right guy, the right temperament for the Lions. Well, guess what? He is the right guy. He is the right temperament. The players love playing for him. And I credit some of that to the fact that he was a player. He was a rough and tumble football player. He understands what these guys are going through. And they love playing for him. So, you know, he pushes where he needs to push. He supports where he needs to support. And he praises when he needs to praise. And this is not a flash in the pan. I think these Lions are onto something. And I think in the next couple of years, I don't know if it's going to be 2023 or 2024, you're not only going to see the Lions in the playoffs, I think you're going to see the Lions make their way up the ladder in the playoffs. Am I ready to predict the Super Bowl? No. But remember, there is a saying, on any given day, any given team can beat any other team. And in the Lions now, particularly with the way they are structuring themselves and with 2 picks high up in the draft, this is going to be a team to contend with. This is going to be a team to contend with. And it was interesting. There was an article in the Detroit Free Press today from Mitch Albom. He said he's putting the Detroit Lions in the playoffs. Bleep it. If the NFL won't, I will. And, you know, he said he watched every minute of the Lions games this season. And they are a formidable team. They grew stronger every week. And it's true. It's true. So hats off to the Lions. Onward to 2023 in the next season. It'll be here before you know it, the way time moves. And, you know, before long, the draft, and then the camps begin in the spring. And the summer flies by, and before you know it, it's fall, and we're into football season again. Go Lions. They're now the darlings of the NFL. And every time I hear some of the national pundits on the, you know, pregame shows talk about the Lions, they talk quite positively about Dan Campbell and about Jeff Goff, the quarterback. So it's going to be fun to watch. When was the last time we said that about the Lions? Now let's hope that the Tigers can turn things around a little bit. The Red Wings, the Pistons. I mean, I can remember back quite a number of years ago when all 4 of them were on top of things in the world, you know. It's time to do that again. I just thought I'd mention that this morning. We'll take a break, come back with lots more on the Art Lewis Show. Lines open for you.
Bay City's best bridge is open to traffic. Brought to you by Bay City Bridge Partners and local union workers. Come see the new Liberty Bridge for yourself. Tolling is free through March. Drive the most direct route between home, work, school, and many of Bay City's hotspots. Experience the smooth new deck surface free of potholes and new, more reliable mechanics, electronics, and technology. Get your transponder and learn more at BayCityBridgePartners.com.
For almost 20 years, Linex has been the only place to go for quality spray-on bed liner. But did you know they also offer rust-proofing and undercoating?
Their exclusive process will keep your new or used vehicle protected.
The guys at Linex base rust-proofing and military-spec undercoat to ensure years of protection.
In fact, all new vehicles protected will get a lifetime warranty, no yearly touch-ups required.
And because the rust-proofing process is wax-based, you won't have any long-term dripping or mess to clean up later. Rust-proof your car, truck, or SUV and protect it year-round.
Linex is located on Wilder Road in Bay City.
Give them a call at 989-671-9820 or call them at their Grand Blanc location, 810 810-695-9000.
Remember, your new car, truck, or SUV gets a lifetime warranty with no yearly touch-up required.
Again, the number in Bay City is 989-671-9820 or in Grand Blanc, 810-695-9000.
Attention. Per the current government mandate, U.S.-based insurers are now required testing kits with no out-of-pocket fees to you. If you have a current insurance plan, you are eligible to receive up to 8 COVID-19 tests shipped to you each month absolutely free, as long as the government mandate is in effect. Just visit testkitforfree.com to register now from the comfort of your own home. That's testkitforfree.com to receive your tests shipped to you at no cost. Go to testkitforfree.com today. Paid for by T. Euro Health.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681.
If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's true when your business is growing fast, and even more true when there's a lot of uncertainty. Inflation is running rampant, supply chains are clogged, and the labor market is tight. What does that mean for margins? But not every business is in the dark. Over 30,000 businesses know their numbers because they use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. NetSuite gives you visibility and control of your financials, planning, budgeting, and of course inventory, so you can manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Everything you need, all in one place. In 2020, NetSuite helps you identify rising costs, automate your manual business process, and see where to save money. Know your numbers, know your business, and get to know how NetSuite can be the source of truth for your entire company. Right now, NetSuite is offering a one-of-a-kind flexible financing program. Head to netsuite.com/radar right now. netsuite.com/radar. netsuite.com/radar.
The WSGW Morning Team.
The WSW online poll is about the Bay City Bridge tolls. The Bay City Bridge Partners, now responsible for the Liberty Bridge and the Independence Bridge. The tolling to cross the Liberty Bridge, that's going to start at the end of March. If you're a resident within the city limits of Bay City, driving a basic passenger vehicle with a transponder, you're free until 2028. The transponder is free, by the way. The basic passenger vehicle rate for non-residents with a transponder, $2 per crossing. If you don't have a transponder, $5.50 per crossing. You could get a $15 per month unlimited pass too. Higher rates for other vehicles. Poll question: what are your plans for crossing the Liberty? Will you use the bridge as you've always used it? Will you alter your route as much as you can to try to avoid the toll? Or will you plan to absolutely do whatever is necessary to never pay a toll? What will you do for the Bay City Bridge tolls? Head to WSW.com, scroll down the homepage, find the poll box, and please vote that way.
Charlie, Denise, and Pat, the Morning Team, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. If you followed the news, you saw the story about the 6-year-old in Virginia who shot a Virginia teacher with a gun that he had taken from his home, 6 years old. There's a number of things about this story that just are, first of all, hearts go out to the teacher. Originally, they thought she had a life-threatening injury. He had shot her through the hand and into the chest. But she apparently is recovering and doing very well, and she's been touted as a hero because even after she was shot, she protected her students rather than worrying about herself. A lot of questions about this. First of all, he takes it from the home. The mother had legally purchased the handgun, so it was a legal handgun, 9mm. But In Virginia, as there are in many, many states, there is a law, and I'll read this so I don't get it wrong. In Virginia, you can be prosecuted under a law that prohibits anyone from recklessly leaving a loaded, unsecured gun in a manner that endangers the life or limb of children under 14. A violation of that law is a misdemeanor, punishable by a maximum jail sentence of a year and a fine of $2,500. This kid is 6 years old. Should not the parent be held responsible? Most gun owners keep their guns locked in a tabletop. If you have just one gun, maybe in a tabletop box that's screwed to a table, and you use your fingerprint. It uses biometrics to open it. You lock up your ammunition, and you avoid these kinds of incidents. Where was the breakdown? And then the next question I have, if you have a 9mm and you leave it lying around, do you leave it loaded and racked with a bullet in the chamber? Or do you slap a magazine in it and you don't rack it? I'd be curious as to how this gun was left and how this young man at 6 years old, I doubt very much that a 6-year-old is going to understand how to rack a 9mm. That gun had to be left loaded with one in the chamber ready to fire. Seems to me anyway. All right, I'll tell you what, Joe, I'm going to have you call back because I haven't got enough time to give you your due. I have to take a break here before the end. So, Joe in Bay City, call us back right after the news, and we'll get to your conversation here on the Art Lewis Show.
Beat the winter blues and get away from the cold. How far away is up to you. Let Capone help you get where you want to go with a vacation loan. See a Capocco Community Credit Union loan officer today and ask how they can help. Whether it's to a tropical island or just any place with palm trees, a vacation is easy with Capocco Community Credit Union. Find out more at capocco.org. Member NCUA.
Sipping hot cocoa under a warm, fuzzy blanket by the fireside sounds nice and all, but do you know what sounds even better? Doing all this while digging your toes into ultra-soft carpets from Shaw. This is Sonia with Westside Decorating. We offer a variety of Shaw floors from luxurious caress to the super durable and carpet. We still offer insulating window coverings to combat drafty windows and beautiful designs. Visit our newly renovated showroom, Westside Decorating, 5789 State Street in Saginaw Township, where there's always something new.
If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's true when your business is growing fast, and even more true when there's a lot of uncertainty. Inflation is running rampant, supply chains are clogged, and the labor market is tight. What does that mean for margins? But not every business is in the dark. Over 30,000 businesses know their numbers because they use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. NetSuite gives you visibility and control of your financials, planning, budgeting, and of course, manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Everything you need, all in one place. In 2023, profit is the new growth. NetSuite helps you identify rising costs, automate your manual business process, and see where to save money. Know your numbers, know your business, and get to know how NetSuite can be the source of truth for your entire company. Right now, NetSuite is offering a one-of-a-kind flexible financing program. Head to netsuite.com/radar right now. netsuite.com/radar. netsuite.com/radar.
All right, that'll do it for this first hour of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. We'll have open phones all next hour. And before that, of course, we have news from CBS coming along. And that'll be the national and international report. Michael Percha in the WSGW newsroom will update you on the region and, of course, the state of Michigan. And then we will be back with more good conversation here on WSGW. Join us right after the news.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. 90% of Californians are under flood watches, and there's more heavy rain in the forecast. In Ventura County, firefighters used helicopters to rescue more than a dozen people trapped on an island in surging waters. Captain Brian McGrath.
We need to get these everyone out of the area to higher ground, to a place of safety, as well as let's get to these shelters so that way we can get warm and dry.
More from correspondent Carter Evans.
In Northern California, high surf slammed waterfront businesses. This restaurant's been in the family for decades. Have you ever seen damage like this before? I have not. Kitchen manager Josh Whitby says it'll take months to rebuild.
Some Republicans are pouncing amid a Justice Department review of about 10 documents marked classified that were found in an office Joe Biden used before he was elected president. Incoming House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer.
President Biden chimed in and said, I think, quote, how irresponsible it was for Donald Trump to do something like that and question how a mistake like that can be made. Well, Biden made the same mistake, apparently.
The Trump Organization's former chief financial officer is scheduled in New York. Alan Weisselberg pleaded guilty to dodging taxes on $1.7 million in company perks. He was promised a short sentence in exchange for testifying against the company. Women's soccer takes action after findings of sexual and emotional abuse. CBS's Jim Crisula has the details.
The National Women's Soccer League has permanently banned 4 coaches and announced a disciplinary action against several other persons and teams. The move is in response to an investigation into alleged abuse and misconduct. It found, quote, widespread misconduct directed at players dating back nearly a decade.
No long lines for Prince Harry's new memoir after it went on sale in the UK. Some bookstores opened at midnight to welcome the anticipated crowds, which never came.
I thought there'd be a queue round the floor, and I've turned up at 6 o'clock and there's no one here.
But fan Caroline Owen has no regret.
I'm here because I like Harry, and I like Harry and Meghan, and I don't care what anybody says about me.
Someone's buying. Bookstores report massive pre-publication sales, and it's topping Amazon's bestseller lists in the UK, US, Australia, Germany, and Canada. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London. Golden Globes return a year after they were scrapped over a diversity scandal.
Mrs. Wang, are you with us? I am paying attention.
Everything Everywhere All at Once could bring awards for Jamie Lee Curtis or Michelle Yeoh.
Lights change how everything looks.
The Fabelmans are a favorite for Best Drama. This is CBS News.
This winter, there are now updated COVID-19 booster shots designed for recent Omicron variants. Learn more and schedule your updated booster at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
Frankenmuth Credit Union presents the 6th annual Bay City Country Music Festival, Thursday, June 15th, featuring Jimmy Allen.
Girl, what's your name? What's your drink? Yeah, what's your
And Friday, June 16th, featuring Mitchell Tenpenny.
Cause drunk me, can't get over you.
And this year, a third show on featuring Nelly. Get your tickets today at KenSheltonPromotions.com. Also sponsored by J&B Boots USA.
Attention. Per the current government mandate, U.S.-based insurers are now required to cover at-home COVID testing kits with no out-of-pocket fees to you. If you have a current insurance plan, you are eligible to receive up to 8 COVID-19 tests shipped to you each month absolutely free, as long as the government mandate is in effect. Just visit testkitforfree.com to register now from the comfort of your own home. That's testkitforfree.com to receive your tests shipped to you at no cost. Go to testkitforfree.com today. Paid for by T. Euro Health.
You know, it's true. Difficult times have a way of focusing us. We have to think about what matters most when it comes to our spending, our healthcare. No doubt. This is why so many people are joining MediShare right now. MediShare is a trusted way to save up to 50% on your monthly healthcare costs, more than $400, which it's pretty obvious why, too, especially now during this challenging season with healthcare costs and out-of-pocket expenses going up. MediShare can save you a lot of money. The typical family saves $500 a month. And Medishare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that's worked beautifully for 29 years. There are different options to choose from to fit your budget. I'll give you the number here in a second. And if you call, you can get a price within 2 minutes. Maybe now is the perfect time to make the switch and start saving. Here you go. Call 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE. 877-26-BIBLE.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom. This is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 33 degrees at 10:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Percha. A Florida man Huron County to life in prison Monday for sex assault crimes involving children. 50-year-old David Gray, formerly of Huron County, was convicted in October on charges of first and second-degree criminal sexual conduct with 2 girls under the age of 13. Gray has prior similar convictions from 1990 and was sentenced as an habitual offender, which carries a sentence of life in prison without parole. The Saginaw teen and another person escaped after being held against their will, robbed, and tortured last Thursday in Saginaw. 4 people are in custody facing charges. 21-year-old Jontorian Reed and 20-year-old Mitchell Ballard were arraigned Monday on charges of armed robbery and assault with intent to cause great bodily harm less than murder. Plus, 2 17-year-old girls are lodged in the Saginaw County Juvenile Detention Facility awaiting charges in the incident. An unidentified 20-year-old contacted a police officer in the midst of making a traffic stop and home in the 600 block of Granger Street. And the other 17-year-old teen had also been accosted and held against his will. Both victims are recovering after allegedly being robbed, whipped with charging cords, and burned. January is Radon Action Month, and local health departments are offering free radon testing kits. Radon is a colorless, odorless, and tasteless gas which seeps up from the ground and can pool in buildings and homes, causing health problems. It's the second leading cause of lung cancer in the United States. Determining if your home has elevated radon levels is as simple as getting a test kit and submitting it to your local health department. Call the health department for a free radon test kit during the month of January. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
In his last will and testament, Robert has bequeathed to his only heir and devoted caretaker 1/3 of his house, 1/3 of his truck, and 1/3 of his beloved dog, Mr. Bo here.
Excuse me. Settle for a fraction of what you deserve, especially at harvest. Yield your best with Veltima fungicide's proven plant health benefits and revolutionary application flexibility.
1/3 of a dog. Right.
Get everything you deserve with Veltima fungicide. From BASF, always read and follow label directions.
Welcome to retirement. Now, replace your paycheck. To local financial coach Kevin Ray, this is what retirement planning is all about.
Building monthly paychecks. And how you build those monthly paychecks is going to determine how well in retirement you're going to enjoy it. So sit down and build a good framework, and it starts with income.
So build your framework with Kevin and the team at Insight Folios today by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. An 82-year-old man is under arrest after he allegedly threatened 2 people, then barricaded himself inside a law for more than 4 hours. The Ottawa County Sheriff's Department says deputies were sent to the firm after a man carrying 2 knives threatened 2 workers. Captain Jacob Sparks says a woman was able to escape, but a 50-year-old man was held at knife point until deputies arrived and were able to get him out. The man was arrested and was to be checked out medically before being put in jail. The return from the winter break marks a new start for the Oxford School District, which welcomed a new interim superintendent of schools on today. Here's Michigan News Network's John Hewitt.
Her name is Vicky Markovich, and for the next 6 months, she will hold the title of superintendent in Oxford, a district that has, of course, struggled to move forward from the November 2021 shooting incident that left 4 students dead and 7 others wounded.
This will be a new challenge, but I think the experience that I bring around problem solving, collaborative leadership, reestablishing trust, putting practices in place that are responsive, and those are the things that I think maybe I can bring to the district.
Markovich, who was retired, was handpicked for the Oxford superintendent's job, as the district remains the focus of multiple lawsuits following the mass shootings, as well as a third-party investigation, the results of which are expected next month. John Hewitt for the Michigan News Network.
Vice President Kamala Harris will be paying a visit to Ann Arbor this week. A statement from the White House says Harris is scheduled to travel to Ann Arbor for a conversation highlighting the Biden-Harris administration's historic and ongoing work to combat climate crisis. The vice president's last trip to Michigan was in October. She stopped in suburban Detroit to take part in a political fundraiser and discuss the administration's efforts to increase the production of semiconductor chips. WSGW News Time 1010. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see if you spot for today, then possibly mixing with some rain here late, then becoming all rain even later with cloudy skies, a high of 40 degrees. Winds out of the southeast around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, cloudy skies and a low near 33. Wednesday, cloudy, high around 45 degrees. Then by Thursday, we'll have a chance for some rain showers here, cloudy and a high of 41. Friday, cloudy skies, high around 32 degrees. Then by Saturday, mostly sunny and a high of 32. Sunday, mostly cloudy, high 36 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Vuchitsky with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 33.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is Decorating Center.
Indeed, Westside Decorating Center at 5789 State Street in Saginaw with their newly expanded showroom, and they have absolutely everything you need for home decorating at Westside Decorating Center. This hour, we will hear from Terry Henney. He's out and about. He's in Lansing, actually, for the Michigan Agribusiness Meeting. So we'll hear from him a couple of times this hour. And it's open phones for the hour. As we ended last hour, we begin this one. We asked Joe to call back in Bay City, and he has. So we will say good morning to Joe in Bay City.
Well, good morning, Art, in Saginaw. I appreciate you giving me my due.
No problem.
Well, my due, unfortunately, is loaded. I got about 100 different things that are driving me crazy, so I'm not going to talk about any of them. But I do want to talk a little football, but let's talk about that unfortunate situation with the 6-year-old in the shooting.
Yep.
You're exactly right. I mean, a semi-automatic, it had to be sitting there loaded and wrapped because yep. I'll tell you what, and you probably already know this yourself maybe, but, those semi-automatics, sometimes it's hard for an adult to rack them. You have to.
I'll tell you what, it took me a while to learn to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And
they're all different. They all have different spring tensions, and some are harder than others.
You're right. And so that gun had to be racked, and one bullet in it, of course. And unfortunately, in a way, I mean, I think if he would have had a revolver, he probably would have emptied it. And, he would have probably kept shooting that 9mm, but he couldn't. He didn't know how to get another bullet up there.
Well, no, because if it were loaded, if it had a magazine in, it would have self-loaded.
Right. You're right.
Yeah, it would have self-loaded.
Right. I forgot about that. My wife reminded me of that earlier.
The revolver would have been harder for him because the revolver is typically if it's a double action, it's a heavier pull. If it's a single action, he had to know how to cock it before he could fire it. So I suspect that the gun had to be ready in the firing position so he could just pick it up and squeeze the trigger.
Yeah, no question about that. And unfortunately, from state to state, as you know, also that the parents sometimes are not held accountable.
Yep.
By law, they're not held accountable, and even if they are by law, they just don't want to pursue it a lot of times.
Well, Virginia has an accountability law, but the way I understand it is I read it. The law. I'll tell you what it says. Hang on a minute here. I want to get it right. I don't want to get it wrong. The law, gun owners can be prosecuted under a Virginia law that prohibits anyone from recklessly leaving a loaded, unsecured gun in a manner that endangers the life or limb of children under 14. Now, it's a misdemeanor, punishable by a maximum of a year in jail and a $2,500 fine. So the question here is, if the law specifies that it endangers the life or limb of children under 14, I think it could be said that a 6-year-old with a loaded gun could endanger anybody.
I think that's pretty obvious.
Yeah, you would think. You would think.
You would think. Now, have you read is there a law here in Michigan that holds parents responsible at all? Have you checked that out?
I think there is, and I think that's part of the issue with the Oxford parents.
Right. Well, that was,
and that goes even beyond. That goes well beyond it. But
oh, geez, yes, yeah, that was. I mean, they
yeah. I don't. You know, the thing that gets me is why do? Well, I know why, but I was going to say, why do we need a law to hold people responsible for what they should be responsible for anyway? We need the law, I guess, to punish those that aren't. But
well, I'm in 100% agreement, and I want to talk football, so I'm just going to say one more thing about parents. They've had it on the news the last day or two about obesity for young kids, and they want to either give them drugs at 12 years old or have surgery, and nobody mentions about the parents providing decent nourishment for them. I mean, these kids don't get fat on their own when they're so young. They get fat because their parents aren't watching anything.
Well, it's sometimes yes, sometimes no. I think every child is different.
You can have a physical condition.
Exactly. Every child is different, but it has to be measured on the child itself and what's happened.
Yeah.
I don't get me started on parent responsibility. Don't get me started.
As long as you leave me time for football, you go ahead and talk about it.
Go ahead, real quick.
All right. Well, when you're talking about the Lions, I agree with everything you said. And unlike you, I thought it was going to be a fresh breath of fresh air when they hired Campbell. I really did.
Yeah.
And
I came around.
You left out one important component about the team, and that's the general manager.
You're right.
Manager,
I was going to mention that, and I didn't.
And he's done one. You still got to have some talents. You can't, you can't put Joe out on the field and expect to win a Super Bowl. You got to have some talent.
And there's another aspect to that too. Maybe we're not seeing it, but it seems to me that the Ford family has stepped out of the way and let him have his head and do what he needs to do.
Well, I was going to bring that up a little bit too, as the old Bible verse. I'm not going to. It's not exactly the same verse, but isn't there a verse that says, "A child shall lead the whatever it is out of the woods," or I can't remember the whole thing, but I'm using that as the Lions. A woman shall lead the.
Well, she does, but she's smart enough to stay out of the way and let the general manager manage and let the coach. And that I think that's a plus. All right. Listen.
Okay, well, hey, next year, I think we're on the verge of doing something really better, but, football, injuries,
you never know.
Things can happen.
All right, Joe.
You never know, but it looks good for the future.
Take care.
Okay.
Yep. Bye-bye now. And let's talk to Carl in Saginaw. Carl, good morning to you.
Talking about guns, I remember you saying for years and years that you did not own a gun.
Mm-hmm.
And then, what, maybe 6 months ago or something?
A year ago.
I heard you a year ago. Okay. What happened? What changed?
That's a valid question, and I will tell you exactly what happened. I won.
I own guns.
Yeah, no. Let me tell you what happened.
Okay.
I won a gun. I won a beautiful little Smith & Wesson Shield Plus, and I got hooked on target shooting. So I shoot pretty regularly, and I enjoy every minute of it, and I have a CPL. Life changes.
Okay.
And I understand this. when I didn't own guns, it wasn't because I didn't support gun ownership. I did. I support the Second Amendment. I support gun ownership. I just, at my point in my life, I just didn't see the need.
Right. I remember you talking about being pro gun and all that,
yeah.
but that you did not own a gun.
At that time, that was true.
So you didn't go out looking for a gun.
No.
You kind of had one.
Came to me.
On you.
Sort of came to me.
Found you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's different.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But I enjoy it. I mean, I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I enjoy gun ownership. Although I tell you, I don't carry my gun like I used to. In fact, I haven't carried it in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I have a CPL also, but I just don't. I just don't.
Well, let's put it this way. Let's put it this way. I won't tell anybody when I am and I'm not. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I suppose.
I don't want to announce it. Let's put it that way.
I was wondering if something maybe happened in your life.
No, absolutely nothing.
Break in, break in your house or something like that.
Nothing. Nope. It was pure fate. Nothing at all happened to cause me to change my mind or buy one or anything of that nature. And it just came my way, and I liked it. Now, I have to also tell you, my wife does not. She's never even seen it. It's locked up. She's never seen it, doesn't want to see it, doesn't want to know about it. And I respect that. That's fine. But it's here.
Yeah. I feel the same way. Although she did some shooting when she was very young, but she's not crazy about guns.
Yeah. Well, I've shot.
Okay.
I've shot throughout my life. I've shot at various occasions. And I must tell you, I'm not a bad shot. But now that I've had time to practice, and I also have the Mantis system where you can dry fire in your basement. It tells you how you're pulling your trigger and, when you're pulling left, right, up, down, what have you. And I practice with that once in a while just to keep myself in tune. So anyhow, but there we are.
Oh, by the way, I heard back from my insurance company and I'm getting a credit on my car insurance.
Good man.
For the record.
Very good.
Yes. Okay.
All right, Carl. Have a good one, my friend. Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. We're going to take a break. We'll also, at the end of this break, hear from Terry Henney, who's in Lansing. More coming up.
Beat the winter blues and get away from the cold. How far away is up to you. Let Capoco Community Credit Union help you get where you want to go with a vacation loan. See a Capoco Community Credit Union loan officer today and ask whether it's to a tropical island or just any place with palm trees, a vacation is easy with Capoco Community Credit Union. Find out more at capoco.org. Member NCUA.
Get back to business and start the year strong with an HP printer from Staples, like the HP LaserJet MFP M234 SDWE printer. This compact multifunction printer features blazing fast print speeds. It's the fastest two-sided printer in its class. Plus, with the HP Smart app, you can print, scan, and copy from anywhere. And Staples has the best deals on a full range of HP printers. Right now, save up to $100 on the HP LaserJet. This week only. Offer good in-store and online. Ends 1/14.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Lauren Simonetti, and this is the Fox. Stocks opened flat and turned higher. Fed Chair Jerome Powell's remarks at a financial conference in Sweden did not specifically address future rate increases. Supermarket giant Albertsons reported a better than expected holiday quarter. Apple is said to be working on its own chips for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth in its devices. It's been using Broadcom, and Broadcom shares are losing ground. Microsoft is reported to be working on a plan to invest $10 billion in artificial intelligence company OpenAI. Coinbase Global, the crypto broker, is laying off around 950 employees at a loss of as much as $500 million for last year. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Democrats predicted an end to high inflation, but nothing has changed. In fact, food and housing prices are still going higher. Hi, this is Stephen K. Bannon, and I urge you to protect your savings from inflation by diversifying into a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To see how it works, simply text the word SHELTER to 989898, and you'll get a free info kit on gold IRA. Again, that's SHELTER to 989898. There's no obligation or purchase required.
There's never any with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender by Norton aims an online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681.
Good morning, Terry Henney broadcasting from the Lansing Center Convention Center. And of course, it's downtown Lansing, where everything is going on right now, especially when it comes to agribusiness. We're at the Michigan Agribusiness Winter Conference. Along with me is Chuck Lipstrew. Chuck, this organization has been doing something like this for how long?
Well, Terry, this is our 90th annual winter conference and trade show. It's great to be back here in Lansing. We've got several hundred of our member company employees here and a number of experts and folks that have come in to talk about some of the latest and greatest issues facing our industry. Certainly no shortage of excitement out there and no shortage of challenges. We have to stay ahead of it. We have to stay on it. And this year in particular is really solid because, we're back. I think everybody's experiencing that in their business, in their day-to-day lives. Last year at this time, we were still had some COVID concerns, issues with that. But man, this year feels good. The sun was even out yesterday. Terry, did you see it? I saw it.
I saw it this morning on my way down.
Exactly. It's a sign.
Yes, lots of things going on. We'll touch base with Chuck here for a couple more times before the farm program and get an idea of some of the programs that are going to be offered to these agribusiness folks here at the Michigan Agribusiness Winter Conference.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robbins show, media finally realizes the Russians had nothing to do with the 2016 election. Just not figuring that out, huh?
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW and back to our phones. Russ is in Bay City, so we say good morning to Russ.
Good morning, Art.
Good morning.
Talking about the 6-year-old.
Yep.
How many times do we see this in the news over and over? And usually in the headline is the word accident because that absolves the person who neglectfully left their firearm around. I'm about as pro-Second Amendment as they get, but I'm also, I was raised by a former cop It taught me gun safety. It taught me range rules, and it taught me gun responsibility. I had guns the whole time my children were growing up. Never once did we accidentally get a hold of a loaded or even an unloaded firearm.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to be a gun owner, you have to be a responsible one, flat and simple. And until our courts start punishing these irresponsible people that allow children to get a hold of loaded guns, I don't see it changing. There's no return right now.
I think at least some courts do. We just don't hear about it.
Well, if they were doing it, we would hear about it.
Not necessarily.
But we hear about the incident, and then it's dropped.
Yeah.
So we're hearing about it with the kid that shot the school up in here in Michigan.
Yeah, and
we're hearing about it because those parents are actually being prosecuted, which they should be.
Right, but not just for that. They're being prosecuted for other things too. It goes along with it.
True, but what I'm saying, we're hearing about it because they are being prosecuted.
Yeah, but
all you hear is the accident happened, and then you hear nothing further because nothing further happens.
Yeah, Russ, there's 49 other states. You don't hear everything that happens in every state.
Well, like I said, I fully.
The 6-year-old, listen.
Any more new gun laws? I would love to see us fully prosecuting the ones we already have.
Oh, amen, absolutely. Because they can make all kinds of gun laws. The one thing that's an absolute truth is none of those new gun laws will take guns out of the hands of criminals who want to misuse them. None of them.
And they're not prosecuting them as far as I can see. And from what I've seen in the news over and over again, a gun law is one of the first things to be dropped in a no contest plea agreement. And it doesn't seem like the gun laws are designed to take the guns out of the hands of criminals. It's designed to take the guns out of the hands of law-abiding
That's the problem.
Who do obey the law.
And that's the problem. And that's the problem with all of them.
And I'm tired of it. It's no more gun laws until, I'm in favor of most of the gun laws we do have because they don't affect law-abiding citizens.
Right. They're common sense.
Yeah. Lock it up. Even if there's so many ways they stash a gun in your home right now that a child wouldn't be able to find. I mean, they got ones that look like clock radios.
Yep.
There's clock radios.
There's all kinds of safes for guns. All kinds.
And you pop one button and that thing's in your hand. Or they got a shelf that can hold plants and you touch a certain corner of it and the gun drops right in your hand.
There's all kinds of ways.
So there's no reason to just leave one laying around where a child can get a hold of it.
Well, I think you've touched on the important point is hold them accountable.
Absolutely.
So,
100.
all right.
That's my point on it.
Good enough. It's a good one.
You have a great day.
Take care, Russ. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Mark is in Mount Pleasant. Mark, good morning.
How are you, sir?
We're doing well, thanks.
First one, do you think the government is fair and balanced?
Depending what you're talking about.
Investigations, fair and balanced.
That's a tough question because it depends on who's in power. When one side's in power, they investigate the other side. When the other side comes to power, as you're going to see, they will investigate back. So let's put it this way. The opportunities are fair and balanced.
My second part of my question to you is, Biden, when he was vice president, has had documents that were seized by the National Archives. What legacy media can I watch the 10 hours of them going through Scranton home on TV for 10 hours?
Well, first of all, there were 10 documents. They found them and they reported them immediately. I had to chuckle though because I knew it was going to happen. Former President Trump immediately called for a raid on their property, and if I were him, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah. So that's why I was just wondering if it was fair and balanced.
Well, it's fair and balanced opportunity. Let's put it that way. But you gotta have the power to do it. So
I agree.
All right. Take
All right,
care.
my friend.
Have a good one.
Take
Bye
care.
bye now.
Yep. Bye.
And let's say hi to Earl in Saginaw before we take a break. Earl, good morning.
Good morning, sir. I just talked to a friend of yours, but then
I didn't know I had any.
You don't have many. And it's getting less every day. But anyway, I'm sorry. Would you know, when the 6-year-old shot the teacher, the first words out of someone was, there was a conflict. What I want to know is, who in the hell taught a 6-year-old weapon to start with? Why is that mother not in jail?
Well, they're investigating. She may end up that way. Now, Virginia law only allows a maximum. It's a misdemeanor, and it's a maximum of a year in jail and a $2,500 fine. But they have not yet come forth and pressed charges, and she apparently was cooperating with them. It's irresponsible for a gun owner to leave a gun where a 6-year-old can get a hold of it. Even if it's empty, it's irresponsible to do that.
Who in the hell taught this kid to, a 6-year-old picks up a handgun, that's pretty heavy to hold on to. Who taught him how to do that?
That's an interesting question, because it also has a little recoil, and a 6-year-old is, that's a...
I mean, he's got, number one, maybe she kept it loaded, but he's got to take it off at safety and fire it.
I'll correct you there.
Going on.
I'll correct you there.
What?
I'm going to correct you.
Yes?
Not all 9mm have safeties. They have different ways of doing it. For example, if you buy a Glock, it will not come with a safety.
Okay.
If you buy, for example, the Smith & Wesson Shield Plus, like I have, it's an option. A thumb safety is an option, but it's not guaranteed that you're going to get one with it. So safeties are, if she bought a, I don't know what kind of gun it was, all right, but let's say she bought a Glock. Well, if she loads it and there's one in the chamber and the trigger had not been pulled before she loaded it, he's going to be able to fire it. And the reality is, if there's one in the chamber, it had to be racked. And if you racked it, you've cocked it.
Well, what I'd like to see is about 10 6-year-olds lined up and handed the handgun of what would they know what to do with it.
If it were,
this kid to do this.
If it were racked and ready to shoot, they could pick it up, point it, and pull a trigger. That's no big deal. How many times have they seen it on television in crime shows and what have you?
Well, I know, but it just blows my mind that we got
to me,
6-year-old involved in something like
the 6-year-old, this gun had to be in a ready position. In other words, ready to fire. Because I don't see a 6-year-old knowing how to rack a 9mm, particularly with the strength it takes to rack one. I mean, in the beginning, I had enough trouble doing it, but it's to me totally irresponsible. There should be some accountability, because if we don't have this accountability, then it tells everybody else, oh well, I don't have to worry about it.
You're probably right, but if you were taller, that would work better for you, right?
Thanks.
Have a nice day.
Bye-bye, Earl.
Okay,
have a good one. All right, we're going to take a break, come back with more. Lines open for you.
Have you been considering a virtual education for your child? Bangor Township Schools offers an alternative learning environment for your child. Since 2015, Bangor Township Virtual School has provided hundreds of students K through 12th grade in the Saginaw Bay area an accredited public education. The School of Choice window is open through January 20th. For more information on enrolling your child, go to bangorschools.org. Bangor Township Virtual Schools, the virtual education experts.
We expect our information in real time. US Med carries continuous glucose monitors, which provide real-time readings of blood glucose levels. US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. So call 800-730-8405 today for a free insurance and Medicare benefits check. As easy as 800-730-8405.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joint. Unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
Democrats predicted an end to high inflation, but nothing has changed. In fact, food and housing prices are still going higher. Hi, this is Stephen K. Bannon, and I urge you to protect your savings from inflation by diversifying Gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To see how it works, simply text the word safeguard to 989898, and you'll get a free info kit on gold IRAs that will explain everything. Again, that's safeguard to 989898. There's no obligation or purchase required.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my outdoor magazine show Sunday mornings, GW, but now there's another option. Saturday morning, 6 till 9. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on 6 till 9, right here on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios, you are listening to 100.5 and 790 WSGW.
All right, back with you on the Art Lewis Show. I just wanted to finish up this conversation on gun ownership and teaching respect for guns. My dad was a federal agent.
For almost 20 years, Linex has been the only place to go for quality spray.
There we go. Thank you. We'll have to reset that. My finger pushed the wrong button here. My father was a federal agent, special agent, Treasury, New York City. Carried at the time, going back now to the 50s, 60s, he carried a Smith & Wesson 38 special short barrel. It wasn't a snub nose, but it was a short barrel. And it was his duty weapon. And he was a very, very good shot. But he hated guns. It was really kind of funny. He didn't like guns, but he knew how to use it and use it well. Had to. But I can remember when I was very young, I was a Hopalong Cassidy fan. Now we're going back now to the late 40s, early 50s. I thought Hopalong Cassidy, I thought the world started and ended with Hopalong Cassidy. So my parents bought me the Hopalong Cassidy outfit, the black outfit, the hat, and the twin 6-shooters, belt, holster on each side of the belt, and the cap guns that were Peacemaker replicas, but they were cap guns. And I vividly remember my father when I got those guns, those cap guns now, I vividly remember him telling me, now, son, when you take that gun out of the holster, you never, ever point it at anything you don't want to shoot. And never, ever, ever point it at anyone. Vividly remember that. And he reminded me of it every time practically he saw me with those on. Lessons that I never forgot. And you have to remember, the first handgun I've ever owned came to me a year ago. I was 78 at the time. I hadn't quite turned 79 yet. First one I've ever owned. And I never forgot the lessons that my father taught me, ever. All right, let's talk to Sean in Bay City. Sean, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Art.
I have to tell you something. Yeah. Somebody just said to me the other day, hey, where's Sean? I haven't heard him in a while.
It's been a rough last few weeks. I got in a little fender bender, and I've been having to deal with the insurance company. Oh, nothing major. It's only like 10 miles an hour, and I didn't get a ticket. So
all right, good.
No big deal. But I appreciate that. I'm always listening and always appreciate you guys, even though it may not seem like it. I really do. But my point was on the minimum wage.
Okay.
There's only one reason minimum wage goes up, and it's not to help you. It's so that way they, would you rather have 30% of $10 an hour or 30% of $15 an hour if you're the government? Well, they get to make more tax money, right?
They do. Yeah, well,
that's a fact.
Yes and no.
And then
now, you got to remember this, Sean. Sean, you got to remember this, though.
Tax that more.
Yeah, you got to remember this, though. Those minimum wages go to low-income earners who probably don't pay tax because 49 or 50% of the people in this country don't pay tax. So the theory that the minimum wage goes up so they can pay more tax doesn't wash because they don't pay any tax. You and I do.
Does the price of any goods go down? Well, right. Somebody's paying more taxes.
Well, you pay more. You pay more. Yeah, exactly.
No matter how you slice the cookie, it didn't help you. It didn't help anybody.
Everything goes up.
Now, my girlfriend's a waitress, right?
Okay.
Now, if they put that $13 hour in or whatever it is, now, if I knew you're making $13 an hour, do you think I'm going to leave you as big a tip or any tip?
I would predict.
And so they can tax that. They want to tax all that money.
I would predict, and it would be interesting to see. I hope it doesn't happen, but it would be interesting to see if they raised that wage to, I think it was $11 and something is what the number was they were talking about, but it could be as high as 13. I would be interested. I would be interested to see if your girlfriend, for example, ended up making more money or less money in the long run. My bet is less money.
Oh, absolutely. We've discussed it. It would 100% be less money. She is not going to make more money.
Right.
That's not going to happen.
Yep.
She probably had to find a different job. And I think I read an article where 20% of restaurants would just close. They can't.
Yeah, they're going to lose a lot of them. Absolutely. You're absolutely right about that. Absolutely right.
When it comes to guns, I'm 50. I was taught right. I went to hunter safety school and all that when I was just, 10, 11 years old.
Yep.
Something like that. It's real simple. Guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Absolutely.
Here's some facts for you. 821 people die of morbid obesity every day in the United States. Food and make some laws on that, and Snickers bars and McDonald's and stuff. That's all true. No, you got to look it up. So I mean,
I know it. No, I'm not arguing with you. You're right.
Stupid stuff. You can't stop all the dum-dums out there. So you can make as many laws as you want against being stupid, but people are still going to be stupid.
Yeah, but those that are stupid and parents who leave loaded guns around ought to be held accountable.
Well, yeah, I agree with you.
It's just accountability, that's all.
They left a whole bunch of Snickers bars around and stuff like that. The kid got super fast. Right?
Okay, we'll think about that.
Where do you draw the line?
All right, my friend.
Maybe we go with Harold. Harold always wants to put everybody in jail. I don't understand.
All right. Good enough.
Hey,
Sean, have a good one, buddy. Take care.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye now. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we will hear from Terry Henney, who is in Lansing.
For quality spray-on bed liner. But did you know they also offer rust-proofing and undercoating?
Their exclusive process will keep your new or used vehicle protected.
The guys at Linex have the only wax-based rust-proofing and military-spec undercoat to ensure years of protection.
In fact, all new vehicles protected will get a lifetime warranty. No yearly touch-ups required.
And because their rust-proofing process is wax-based, you won't have any long clean up later. Rust-proof your car, truck, or SUV and protect it year-round.
Linex is located on Wilder Road in Bay City.
Give them a call at 989-671-9820 or call them at their Grand Blanc location, 810-695-9000.
Remember, your new car, truck, or SUV gets a lifetime warranty with no yearly touch-up required.
Again, the number in Bay City is 989-671-9820 or in Grand Blanc, 810-695-9000.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose. It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com.
Hey y'all, this is your girl Cheryl Underwood, and I want to tell you something. My digestive system used to make me feel sluggish, but those days are over. Now I feel great. That's because I increased my fiber intake with the Metamucil 2-week challenge, and I'm still hooked. I just took Metamucil every day for 14 days, and it's really that easy. Metamucil traps and removes the waste that weighs you down, so you feel lighter and more energetic. Now I never want to go back to that heavy feeling. Are you ready for the Metamucil 2-week challenge for a coupon and daily support? Sign up at
We're at the Michigan Agribusiness Winter Meeting going on with Chuck Lipstrew here with the Agribusiness Association. Chuck, you got a full docket of speakers. How long does this go? 1 day, 2 day?
This is a 2-day conference this year, Terry. It's our first 2-day conference, actually. So we're trying something a little bit new. This morning, we're kicking off with one of the most important things we do, which is to train several hundred applicators, pesticide applicators that work for our member companies. These are folks that are out there supporting farmer success every day, supporting the success of Michigan agriculture. And the strong attendance here shows us that our applicators want to get the job done right the first time and do it in line with all of the state pesticides. We have so much innovation and technology out there today in modern agriculture. And these folks are ambassadors and the folks that are delivering so much new innovative stuff out to the farm field, but they have to be up to speed on the latest. So they hear from our regulators, they hear from some of our member company experts and others to make sure that they've got the credits they need to be certified, but also just baseline, Terry, make sure that they've got the latest information out there on the industry. Michigan is one of the most innovative ag states in the country. We want to keep it that way. And the strong attendance this morning at applicator training has been a great way to kick off the winter conference.
Boy, it sure is. More coming up next hour, and of course, the farm program at 11:30 as we broadcast from the Lansing Center, the Michigan Agribusiness Association Winter Meeting.
Hello, Michigan. I'm John Gonzalez.
And I'm Amy Sherman. We've got big news.
We're back! And you can join us Sundays at 1 p.m. as we once again go behind the mitten.
We'll take you to every corner of the state. Michigan great.
Find a hidden gem or a new favorite spot that might be located right in your hometown.
We'll go above the bridge and taste our way across the state.
Join us Sundays at 1 p.m. right here on 100.5 and 790 News Radio, WSGW.
All right, we're back with you, and let's go back to our phones, and we'll say good morning to Andy, who is in Midland. Andy, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. How are you today?
We're doing well. Hope you are.
I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
Just a little bit on, and I know you ain't got much time, just a little bit of what I've done when my kids were little. And of course, city people can't do it as easily as what I could growing up in the country. But when my kids were probably 7 years old, somewhere in there, I took them all back, filled a milk jug full of water, stood probably 15 feet away from it with a shotgun and shot it with buckshot.
Mm-hmm.
So they could see it actually explode. And then I explained to them that what they see on TV is not real. You just don't get shot and keep fighting and win. And my boy is 38 years old now, and he said that put something in his head. He says, I think about that all the time. He says, anytime I see guns.
You can visualize it.
Yeah. They see this crap on TV, and I think that's where a lot of these people think they can just shoot people and they'll be all right. But all four, I got one boy and three girls, and all four of them I've done it for, and all four of them will tell me, I remember when you did that, Ed. I remember that very well.
Yep, the lessons are lifelong, and this is, that's a perfect example of parental responsibility, and it leaves a mark. It leaves a lifelong good mark on an individual, because they realize what the weapon can do.
I own several pistols, and between my kids, well, not so much my kids now, but grandkids, we go out shooting now and then, even the young ones. And I've always told them, you never touch that gun. If you ever want to look at it, touch it or shoot it, you come and get me. We will go. We will look at it. We'll touch it. We'll shoot it. But you're going to do it with me there. And they all respect that. I've had them come and ask me, can we go get your gun and look at it?
Yeah, it's like they're using yours. Yeah. Now, of course, at 38 years old, they could easily go out and buy one of their own. But
but I mean, my grandkids are.
Yes, the young ones. Yeah.
But they all know their safety. I'm pretty strict with them, and even the grandfather on the other side of the family, he's another one. He's got even more guns than me, and we all go out shooting together. And geez, I've got pictures of 7 grandkids all standing in a row with guns, shooting at the sand pile out back.
The bottom line is, your family members will never, more than likely, never misuse a gun because of those lessons. And that's where it starts. That's how it should be.
It all starts at home.
It does. Absolutely. Absolutely. I was a kid growing up in New York City. You couldn't get a gun anyway. It's hard as heck to buy a gun in New York. But my dad taught me how to use my cap guns so that I didn't misuse them. And, and it's a lesson I never forgot, even though I never had a gun until recently. It just, those lessons stick with you. Andy, I got to run because I'm out of time, but thanks for your call and good shooting. Thanks. Take care.
Good
Bye-bye now.
to you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye now. We'll be back to close out.
You budgeted, gathered your design ideas, and now you're ready to start your bathroom update. The next step, visit Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Whether you're retired and updating to make your bathroom safer by replacing your tub with a shower, or you finally found the house that the bathroom needs an update, the remodeling department at Reamer is ready to help you select products and get your project started. Visit the showroom to see handcrafted cabinets, shower and tub displays, quartz and marble tops, faucets, and much more. Reamer will not promise you a one-day bathroom remodel. They will, however, install the bathroom of your dreams, and it will be installed by licensed professionals with years of experience. Visit the showroom to get started. Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning at 989-792-8738 or visit reamerplumbing.com.
Anyway you spell it.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
All right, that'll do it for the Art Lewis Show for today. Thanks for joining us. Focus coming up after the news. We'll talk to Robin about Auburn and what's happening up in that community. But before that, news from CBS and the local report with Michael Percha in the WSGW newsroom. We'll be back right after the news.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by General Steel.
I'm Steve Kathan. Power outages, flooding, mudslides, all are issues in California as the state is battered by storms. LA Fire Battalion Chief Tim Ramirez responded to mud invading some homes in the Hollywood Hills.
If there's a flooded area or anything that looks dangerous, stay out of it. Valley that sucked up a couple of cars.
Here's CBS's Steve Futterman.
The forecast calls for more rain throughout much of today, both in Northern California and here in Southern California. And after today, there's more rain expected throughout the state. So the rains which have really battered the Golden State the last 10 days are going to continue. And we're going to see probably more mudslides, more landslides, as the hillsides just cannot handle much more water.
At least 14 people have died since the storms began last week. House Speaker McCarthy calls the discovery of documents marked classified in an office sometimes used by President Biden concerning. Kentucky Republican James Comer looks forward to what the Justice Department finds out.
I was concerned about it when it happened with President Trump, but I'm also concerned about it with President Biden. Just because President Biden did it doesn't mean it should be treated any differently than President Trump doing it.
Well, CBS's Adriana Diaz says the documents were found in a closet 2 months ago and reported to the National Archives.
Attorney General Merrick Garland asked the U.S. Attorney in Chicago, John Lausch, a Trump appointee, to review the matter and report back. The FBI is also involved in the preliminary inquiry. According to a source, the documents did not secrets, but their exact nature and classification level are unclear.
Overseas, Ukraine says Russian forces are escalating attacks around the battered eastern city of Bakhmut. Ukraine's President Zelensky says there's almost no life left in that area. Today, the European Union slapped new sanctions on Russia's ally, Belarus. If you're in a post-holiday buying mood, CBS's Allison Keyes says there are some lower prices online.
Adobe Analytics reports that online prices were down 1.6% last month compared to a year ago. This as holiday discounts drew more shoppers, with computers down more than 16% over the past year. Electronics dropped 12%, and toys were down more than 7%.
Bed Bath & Beyond has spelled out more of what's led to store closings and layoffs. Third quarter sales fell 33%. Wall Street, right now the Dow is up 58. NASDAQ is up as well. This is CBS News.
If you're a business owner renting or leasing, you can save a ton of money and own a custom-designed building made by General Steel. Just call 888-74-STEEL and get a quote today.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Bubble Tea Brew House. You are going to get a family 4-pack of bubble teas from the Bubble Tea Brew House in Saginaw for only $12. It's usually $24, but you are getting it half off. The Bubble Tea Brew House is located at 4370 Bay Road in Saginaw, and they have hundreds of flavor combinations. Literally, you pick it, you get it. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal. RocketGrabPlus.com.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Get back to business and start the year strong with an HP printer from Staples, like the HP LaserJet MFP M234 SDWE printer. This compact multifunction printer features blazing fast print speeds. It's the fastest two-sided printer in its class. Plus, with the HP Smart app, you can print, scan, and copy from anywhere. And Staples has the best deals on a full range of HP printers. Right now, save up to $100 on the HP LaserJet. But hurry, this offer is good this week only. Offer good in-store and online. Ends 1/14.
From the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 34 degrees at 11:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Perchup. A woman convicted of killing her husband in 1990 has had her sentence commuted by Governor Gretchen Whitmer. MLive.com reports Luann Zane of Bay County was convicted of first-degree premeditated murder in the death of her husband, Tim Zane, and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. She was held at the Women's Huron Valley Correctional Facility in Ypsilanti. Luann and her family have always claimed she was the victim of severe domestic violence, but testimony on battered person syndrome was not allowed in Michigan courts until 1992. Her family has been working to get her free ever since. With Whitmer commuting Zane's sentence, she is now eligible for parole and would remain on parole for 4 years if it's granted. Flint Fire Chief has filed a $10 million lawsuit against the city of Flint and Mayor Sheldon Neely, alleging wrongful termination. Here's WSGW's Jonathan Dent.
Attorney Arnold Reed says that former Chief Raymond Barton was fired for refusing to lie and cover up the circumstances of the deaths of 2 children that died as a result of a house fire in May of 2022. In the incident, 2 Flint firefighters declared a room to be all clear, but soon after, other firefighters found 12-year-old Zier Mitchell and his brother, 9-year-old Lamar, in the same room. Both children were rushed to the hospital in critical condition and died days later. According to Reed, Barton's investigation found that the 2 firefighters had lied and recommended their termination. Barton alleges that Mayor Neely wanted him to change the investigation's outcome. Barton says he refused, and 9 days after the November election, he was relieved of duty after 34 years working for the department. Jonathan Dent, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
WSGW News Time 11.
Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler, host of the Money Pit Home Improvement Show. If you think you need a new roof, think again. You can avoid replacement and save thousands with RoofMax, the world's first roof rejuvenation treatment. RoofMax is a safe, easy, and affordable alternative to costly asphalt roof replacement, and it's guaranteed. So don't replace RoofMax.
RoofMax, a safe, easy, proven, affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Call Ben today at 859-6751 or go to GetRoofMax.com for a free quote.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it does make with Pioneer Sugar. Whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners, it's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
WSGW News Time 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. A Michigan Supreme Court justice has apologized to a fellow justice for harshly criticizing her hiring of an ex-convict to serve as a law clerk. Justice Richard Bernstein issued a statement Monday saying he apologized to Justice Kyra Harris Bolden and that she accepted the apology. The statement said he regretted overstepping Justice Bolden's hiring process. Bolin had hired Pete Martell, who the Detroit News reported served 14 years in prison after robbing a Flint area store and shooting at police officers. He was released in 2008, changed his life, and obtained a degree from Wayne State University Law School. Bernstein also apologized to Martell. The new effort's getting underway today to see how Michigan can best attract tech talent. Here's Autobeat reporter Jeff Gilbert with the details.
That tech talent is needed for the auto industry. Glenn Stevens of Mish Auto says they want to really attract people in the tech industry to specific locations.
Really, our ultimate is to say to Michigan, to our governor, to our legislator, to our business leaders, we need to do these things to make sure that we're enabling Michigan's growth as a tech sector.
The report will be finished in time for the 2023 Mackinac Policy Conference. Jeff Gilbert, the Michigan News Network.
There is radical new guidance for doctors treating obese children. Parents and caregivers used to be told to simply wait it out to see if a child would simply outgrow obesity, but not so anymore. The American Academy of Pediatrics now call for early childhood obesity, saying the pandemic compounded an already overwhelming issue. New guidelines suggest children as young as 12 could be candidates for medication, while bariatric surgery could be an option for kids 13 and up. WSGW News Time 11:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see a few spotty areas of snow showers at times here for today, then possibly mixing with some rain here late, then becoming all rain even later with cloudy skies, a high of 40 degrees. Winds out of the southeast around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, cloudy skies and a low near 33. 45 degrees. Then by Thursday, we'll have a chance for some rain showers here. Cloudy and a high of 41. Friday, cloudy skies, high around 32 degrees. Then by Saturday, mostly sunny and a high of 32. Sunday, mostly cloudy, high 36 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Vuchitsky with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Currently, it's 34.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Focus is presented by RoofMax. That's RoofMax with 2 X's.
And indeed, you can find out more about RoofMax, the safe, proven, and affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement, online at getroofmax.com or call Ben at 989-859-6751. RoofMax with 2 X's. Today, we learn more about that wonderful little community in our midst, Auburn, and we do that by saying good morning to Robin. How are you?
I'm great, Art. How are you?
Very well. So before we move ahead, let's reflect back. What kind of a year was 2022 for the city of Auburn?
It was absolutely crazy in Auburn. Events, concerts. You would be surprised for such a small community, which we are a population of just a little over 2,000. But we had some amazing events in our city park, located right off of US 10. So, place to go, especially in the summer.
It seemed like it was a busy time because every time we talked, you had events coming up. So let's talk about 2023. First of all, anything new planned for 2023?
Well, I did want to mention to the folks listening this morning that our bookings have now opened for our facilities at the city park. Lots of people don't know that we do have 2 beautiful pavilions, a large and a small. We have a meeting room with a kitchenette and a hall with bathrooms and a kitchenette. And those are fantastic weddings, graduations. So those have opened up now to the public, and you can visit us at auburnmi.gov to check out how to book. You can just click on the bookings right on our homepage, or you can call 989-667-7666. 6761 and ask for Ann, and she can guide you.
Would I be
There are
correct?
some great facilities.
Would I be correct in assuming you don't have to be an Auburn resident to use those facilities?
You do not. Now, Auburn residents do get a little break on the rental because, but it's still very, very family. So, in a great place to have a private event.
Where's it located?
We are right at US 10 on 9 Mile Road. In fact, you can see the park. You see the big green pavilion and the playscape right from US 10.
Right. It's the big park. I call it the big park.
It is the big park.
I noticed in looking at the Auburn site, something I didn't realize. You have a shooting range. Tell us a little bit. Tell us about that.
Well, it's well kept, not secret. So we have our new park, as you know, the Range multi-use park, which is softly open right now. The sledding hill's open, weather permitting. Unfortunately, our snow melted, so
Yeah, I was gonna say.
now it's a dirt hill. It's kind of a mud hill. But there is a shooting range, and you can call to utilize it. And in fact, our police forces in the area train there, as well as at Saginaw Valley and Delta College also utilize that to train. There's a rifle and a pistol range, and there is also a bow and arrow kind of platform out there as well. So
We should say, though, it's
practice there.
it's limited hours.
There are limited hours, yes.
Yeah, and you have to have a range
so-
officer with you.
Yeah, and so we actually, when we built the new park with the disc golf range, we built berms and put in some safety fences, etc. So we could keep all of that separate.
So
public park.
So let me ask you, because to me that was a hidden gem, even though it's on your website, but you had to search for it. What other little hidden gems are there in Auburn that we should know about?
Well, you know, it's been really gloomy out lately. I've been complaining to my husband about the weather, but I know he can't fix that. But unfortunately, unfortunately, he can't fix that. But, you know, we have a stained glass studio there, and they're offering some classes this winter. So if you just want to get out and make something colorful, we have glass blowing classes on Tuesday evenings. They have a fused glass snowflake class coming up on January 18th, and a mosaic stained glass class is beginning on January 25th, and that's a 2-evening class. So this is Village Glassworks, and they're located at 118 West Midland Road, and you can call them at 989-662-4940. And they also have a lovely website that you can access to sign up for classes there at villageglass.com.
That would be fun. That sounds like a neat activity.
Yeah, they're folks. I mean, everybody, you know, I haven't run across anybody unpleasant yet. So I'm sure there are unpleasant people like everywhere, but everybody's been super nice to me. So
That's good.
I'm good.
That's good.
Okay.
All right, Robin, hang on. I got to take a break, and we'll be back. We're talking to Robin from Auburn, finding out what's happening in that community. We'll also hear from Terry Henney, who's in Lansing, right after this.
Bay City's best bridge is open to traffic. Brought to you by Bay City Bridge Partners and local union workers. Come see the new Liberty Bridge for yourself. Tolling is free through March. Drive the most direct route between home and many of Bay City's hotspots. Experience the smooth new deck surface free of potholes and new, more reliable mechanics, electronics, and technology. Get your transponder and learn more at BayCityBridgePartners.com.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com.
This morning we've been talking to you from Lansing for the Michigan Agribusiness Association's winter conference being held at the Lansing Center. Chuck Lipstrew with the Agribusiness Association. Chuck, you're responsible for getting a lot of folks in here to speak and a lot of individuals the opportunity to learn more about new innovations in agriculture.
Well, that's the idea, Terry. We've got close to 100 speakers over 2 days, so we're covering almost every segment of the industry of the Michigan. So many of your listeners know us as an advocacy organization, agriculture's voice in Lansing and in Washington, but we also serve as a convener. We bring people together. That's a really, really important part of everything we do. We get smart people in the room. We get out of the way. And right now we're kicked off on our first day of the winter conference, and we'll welcome, again, close to 100 speakers here over the next 2 days, and several hundred of our member company employees, from applicator experts to leaders of some of the Michigan ag companies that we all know about. This reflects the fact that people want to learn. They want to stay on top of things. They want to know what's coming next. We do here at the MABA Winter Conference. We feel good about where we're at. If anything's gone haywire,
we'll talk that. We'll do that. Chuck Lipstrew with the Michigan Agribusiness Association. More coming up on the farm program in a few minutes.
The WSGW Morning Team.
The WSW online poll is about the Bay City Bridge tolls. The Bay City Bridge Partners, now responsible for the Liberty Bridge and the Independence Bridge. The tolling to cross the Liberty Bridge, that's going to start at the end of March. If you're a resident within the city limits of Bay City, driving a basic passenger vehicle with a transponder, you're free until 2028. The transponder is free, by the way. The basic passenger vehicle rate for non-residents with a transponder, $2 per cross. $5.50 per crossing. You could get a $15 per month unlimited pass too. Higher rates for other vehicles. Poll question: what are your plans for crossing the Liberty Bridge when the tolls start? Will you use the bridge as you've always used it? Will you alter your route as much as you can to try to avoid the toll? Or will you plan to absolutely do whatever is necessary to never pay a toll? What will you do for the Bay City Bridge tolls? Head to WSW.com, scroll down the homepage, find the poll box, and please vote that way.
Charlie, Denise, and Pat, the Morning Team, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW. The WSGW Broadcasting Studios are sponsored by Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center in Midland.
And I'm back with you from my Saginaw Spirit home studio. We're talking to Robin in Auburn about that community and all of its activities. So let's talk a little bit, Robin, even though it's not open right now, but the farmers market was a success last year, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And, I'm really happy Terry's down in Lansing at the Agriculture Conference. Listening to them really inspires me on our farm market. Looking for some new produce vendors this year. The market's going to open June 15th, and we are going to be 1 day a week this year, Thursdays from 2 to 6. So if you are a produce vendor, if you have farm fresh eggs, and boy, eggs have just gone crazy.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about eggs. They're the golden eggs now.
That's right.
Also, folks selling plants and flowers and cottage industry foods. So if you are interested in doing cottage industry foods, you can visit DARD.org, and they've got some fantastic guidelines online. These folks are super helpful. They work with our agriculture department, and they tell you what is and is not allowed as a cottage food in a farm market. So all of your guidelines are right there. So we are booking now. I know that my farming friends, some of them have already started their plants indoors, so already planning for this year coming up.
Aha. I want to ask about something else. There is a growing sport trend in the country called pickleball. Do you have any facilities for that?
In fact, our large pavilion does have 2 pickleball courts underneath that is open for folks to utilize. when there is not another event or farm market happening under the large pavilion. So there are a couple courts under there, so it's under the roof, it's protected. There is a group that meets. I believe they're going to be Wednesday nights this year there as well. So they play in the evening. But it's a crazy trend. People are loving it.
Tell me a little bit about Molcheski Park. What's that used for?
Our small park, the little pocket park.
Yeah, the pocket. That's a good way of describing it. Yeah.
It is a pocket park. And the building that sits next door to the pocket park, it's an alterations business at this time, but I just found out that is the oldest building in town.
Oh, really?
So yes, it is the oldest building. Yeah, I think it was a little general store. But we do have a really beautiful pocket park. It's got our clock, our city clock is located there. Beautiful landscaping by Artisans Landscaping and Design. Last year, they did an absolutely amazing job. So it is a nice place to just sit and take a break. It's right located in the center of town. So you can see all of the businesses up and down the streets right from there. So it's a nice little park.
So let's talk about information. If somebody wants to know more about Auburn, the events, renting facilities, what do they do? Where do they go for that information?
So to rent facilities, you can visit us at auburnmi.gov or call the city offices. If you're interested in the farm market or our arts and crafts events, which are already being planned for next year, the walk in the park is set up for June 10th, then you can email me at auburnfm.gov. I'm sorry, auburnfm@gmail.com. Sorry, we're getting mixed up here. Auburn. I will send you an application for either the farm market, the special events, or both. And you can get signed up and pay ahead if you wish. And we will be seeing you at those events then. But especially farm market, we're booking right now.
Excellent. Well, we will talk to you again in February. I think Terry will be calling you to move that date by a day or so. But other than that, we will be chatting with you down the road, and have a great year in Auburn.
Thank you. Have a great day, Art.
You too, Robin. Have a good one. Bye-bye now. Robin, and telling us what's happening in the community of Auburn. We're going to take our last break, and then we will be back to close out this edition of Focus and move ahead to Terry's Farm Show.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10